cracks me up.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Monster Monday. It is the last Monday of the month of September. I can't believe that that's the case. Like, it's so hard to believe that October is right around the corner. It's absolutely crazy. So I'm so anxious to hear about your weekend. And while you tell me about your weekend, I'll go over my notes I have for the show. You like that?
That's awesome. That's great. How many I have? No, I'm just kidding. I got more than that. But yeah, I had a great weekend.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, so Taylor came Saturday, and
Taylor, meaning my Taylor, my daughter Taylor.
Your daughter Taylor, in case anybody's not, our Taylor.
I think that's pretty awesome because she loves you guys, and we
love her.
Dylan loves having her on the back of his motorcycle. I know you guys went out in the truck, but it was just cool that she went out there. It just makes her living in Minnesota again, so much more entertaining for me.
Yeah, so. She said there's a lot of places she hadn't been around here, and so we took her out for a day in Minnesota, leaf watching, and we were out in the little truck, the little red truck, and went to a few bars and had a few drinks and ate, and then I got a text message. We were near the overlook in Cuyuna, and I got a text message from a guy I work with asking if we wanted to come see his Highlanders and buy some pumpkins. And I'm like, you guys want to go? And she's like, yeah. And so they said we could come pet the cows. And so we went over there, and we were there for quite a while, petting cows and sheep.
I know the video you guys made looked awesome. And the cows, the cows look fun. So Dylan, you did a good job of that. Nice work. Man, I get a thumb for that.
So we had a good day Saturday, and then Sunday we went for a motorcycle ride with Craig and Renee. It was beautiful out, and it was pretty nice weekend.
How did Renee like Craig's new bike?
I didn't know if I should say anything, but yes, she does. She seems to really like it, and Craig really likes his new bike as well.
I don't know if I'm saying anything about his new bike anyhow, but Craig got a new motorcycle. It's really nice, and I've never stolen a motorcycle from anybody I didn't like, so I just want to put that out there.
Yep, it's a pretty nice bike he's got. I sat on it, and pretty good time. Dylan told me to say too that his garage went up this weekend, so we got start of a garage. So
awesome!
We had a pretty busy weekend.
Yeah, like when how much of it's up? Like what stage of that with the garage?
It's all framed. It's framed and partially sheeted. So
right on. So that's coming good.
It's coming real good. Yep, there was about 10 people here on Saturday.
Oh wow, they're rocking it out.
Yeah, it's like bunch of Amish here doing it. It was
pretty cool. You have a barn raising party.
Yes, basically, yeah.
I remember that though. They had a barn raising. I'm so freaking old that I remember the barn raising where everybody went to somebody's house and built a barn. Yeah. And one day that barn went from foundation to a barn, and it wasn't super massive, but it was a pretty good sized barn, to build in one day. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah, my weekend was pretty tame, I guess. Saturday, I went and did a little shopping for the boys, but I'll save that for a rainy day. What we got there, but went and did a little shopping for the boys, and then yesterday I went down to the track. They had the bagger races were in town. So they were in South Jersey, like 2 hours away. Hi, Kylie. They were like 2 hours away, something like that. So we went down there, and Pat Cornell was down there. He was kind of being recognized by Indian at this event Saturday and Sunday. They wanted him to take a victory lap around the thing and have everybody cheer him on and announce what it was, everything. But that was such a shit show to get organized. There's way too many chiefs involved with that stuff, and not one chief that can just be like, at 10 o'clock, you're going to do this. So it was like jumping through hoops, and it ended up falling apart. But they had him at the Indian booth, and it was really cool. A lot of attention, a lot of people, obviously. admiring his accomplishment. So that was pretty awesome. It's kind of fun to stand there and watch him be in the spotlight and, have everybody kind of clamor to him because, you spend so many lonely ass days on the road as a long distance rider. And so you get all those lonely days where you just start craving a little human contact and, that kind of thing. And so it was just nice for them. They had some camera crews that were there with a boom set up, and I was trying to take a bunch of pictures for them. So I don't know. It was pretty exciting to see. So I was happy for Pat. So congratulations again, Pat. That was pretty awesome. But the races were cool. The bagger races. I didn't even stay for the actual baggers to race. They raced last, and I was just shot. I got up super early because I wasn't sure if Pat was doing his thing. He was going to be there at 9. So I got up super early. I was down there by 8 something. And so went down. Rolo, she showed up. Walt was there. Let's see. Al was there. So there was a few people there. I saw AJ showed up. So there's quite a few people, a lot of Hoka riders there. But it was pretty exciting. But I was just kind of shot. So I watched the other bikes, the Crotch Rockets race, and that was pretty cool. But it was like an hour and a half before the baggers were going to race, and I was just like, I'm done. So I turned around and took the long way home and got home and got ready for today. And today was another busy, crazy day. So I'll save that for the news. You can have that. But in the meantime, I'll try to see if I can upload that one thing we were talking about. Okay. But that was pretty good. But I wanted to say that I got news on Don Yates. He is still in the hospital, still in rough shape, but better shape. Doesn't have the feeding tube down. He took his feeding tube out, from my understanding. They had him intubated, and he was done with that, so he could breathe good. But they had a tube in for feeding, but evidently he took that out. I don't know if he was awake or not when he did it, but the tube came out, so they just decided to leave it out. But they had him in a chair, and he was talking. He reached out to Turbo today. I heard about that, and that made Turbo's day to hear from him. So he's on the mend. He's on the mend. And Don and Dee, if you happen to watch this or catch it later, man, you're in our prayers.
Yes.
I so look forward to you getting back to Mississippi and being good enough to get out of that hospital. If you're still there next week, or this week, I should say, I will be in Minnesota, and I'll be sure to come in and say hello. So that was that. But so that's great news. But I did want to say, last week we ran out of time because we had so much going on. And Craig had mentioned this to me about mentioning it to people. MedJet. If you were not familiar with MedJet and insurance in general, take the time during this slower season, the off season. We're coming into fall. A lot of parts of the country won't even be riding their motorcycles. Take time to look at your insurance. Look at what's covered. Take the time to add things. Make sure you have accessories added, safety equipment added. I'm familiar with Progressive, but nobody else, because I've had them forever. But Progressive, I have 7,000, I think, on extra coverage. Anything I put on the bike that didn't come from the bike stock, I have $7,000 on. When I crashed, I had it at 3,500 or 5, whatever it was. But whatever it was, I maxed it out in the first 10 minutes of them looking at my bike. I didn't realize how much things cost that you put on, but make sure you have that in order. Make sure you're covered for non-insured riders. If you're in a state like Florida that doesn't have to have insurance, you need to have your policy cover you against non-insured riders. Take the time to make sure. It's hardly anything charge, but I learned that because someone in my family got hit by somebody without insurance. They didn't have it. And I didn't even know you had to have that, like something extra. And it's nothing to add it. Like on a motorcycle policy, I think mine is $30 for 6 months. Like that's what you got to pay to have it covered. It's like nothing. So make sure, take the time to do that to cover yourself. Don's accident just brought it to the forefront. And I'm not saying Don didn't have any of these things, but they're finding out, you need insurance for this and that and the other thing. So make sure those things are in order. Take the time to do it, because a lot of people don't. And then when the time comes, it's too damn late. MedJet is not to get you from the accident scene to the hospital. Your motorcycle insurance and health insurance will cover that. When I was MedJetted out or lifelined out, that's not what MedJet pays for. But like in Don's case, he's in Minnesota, but he lives in Mississippi. MedJet would fly him to Mississippi. So if he wanted to go home to a rehab facility there or a hospital there, or, to be close to home, MedJet would cover that cost. And that cost could be astronomical. It could be, if you were in Europe, say, it might be $1 million to get you home. But they'll cover that, and you can add your motorcycle to it. So they'll bring your motorcycle home or to wherever you want it. But those are things that you should look at, especially if you're a long distance rider, meaning you end up a long ways from home. If you end up in Utah and you break both your legs and the doctors say it's going to be 8 weeks before you can leave, you're damn straight you're going to want MedJet to get you home after 2 weeks when you're good enough to travel, but you just want to go home and be near your wife, your kids, your husband, your neighbors, whoever you're missing. So it's well worth the money, and it's not just for bikers. You can get MedJet and get a family for anything, anyone. It's just for people who travel. If you're going to be further than 100 miles from home, it's well worth it. And if you get a package that, if you buy 3 years worth of coverage, it's worth it. It's one of those insurance policies you hope you never need. And you hope that you're just wasting money and you throw $400 away every 2 years or whatever it is. That's what you hope for. But if you need it, you would pay a hell of a lot more for it. And I know multiple people that have used it and gotten themselves home and their motorcycles home. So just think about that, of the importance of that, especially your insurance. Make sure you're covered for things. Even if somebody hits you, make sure that you're not getting slammed on the other end over something that doesn't cost much at all. I mean, it's one thing if it's going to cost you $1,000 every 3 months or something, then, you got to weigh your options, but look into it, because you can cover safety gear as another thing that's separate. Progressive covers you for safety gear a certain amount, but every insurance company is a little bit different. But just take a little time and get into that and find out for sure, because that goes a long ways. So that's pretty important stuff. So I just want to throw that out there. Thanks, Craig, Wild Ass Craig, for bringing that up again to put it in discussion, because now's the time of year that people get a little more time, and I'll bring it up again, and maybe I'll do a video of how to, and describe everything that MedJet has, because some people just get confused by the idea of going on their website and signing all up for it and everything, but it's well worth it. So I would definitely get on it if you can. The only other thing I really had was the dates for some monster stuff that we got going on in 2026. People were talking about. I just got to open up. I had my calendar in here, but I don't know what I did with it. So I just got to tell you, the last weekend in June of 2026, it's going to be the 25th, 26th, and 27th. We're going to have a ride. Still working on the details, but there's going to be a ride that's going to cover those 4 days that you can ride a day or a couple days or whatever you want to do. But that's going to be something I talked about a little bit. I don't have a name for it yet, but we're going to ride. It's the 250th anniversary of the country. So we're going to try to fill in the United States, get riders in every state, inside of the state and around the state. So that's the idea for that. That's the weekend that's going to happen. We have the Hokahe. I think everybody knows that. That starts August 2nd, I believe. So that's a big event. Obviously, anybody's doing that is going to be familiar with your dates. And then next year, we decided that for our 5-year anniversary, we're going to go ahead with having a monster ball. So Hopper had brought this up I don't know, was it last year? I think it was last year. He wanted to have it, and it just wasn't going to work out in 2024. We had way too much going on. 25, we already had a plan with Craig. So 26, we're going to have a monster ball to celebrate our 5-year anniversary. And that's going to take place on October 10th. So October 10th, that weekend, it's going to be in Houston or Dallas, one of the two. But I think it's going to be in Houston. We have a lot of people in Houston that can kind of help with going to see things and talking to people face to face and that kind of thing. So I think it's going to be Houston to kick this off for the first time, but it could be the Dallas Fort Worth area as well. We're going to look at both those because they're in the center of the country, which is going to make it easy. They are far enough south that the weather is going to be good, and they both have awesome international airports. So they're going to be, people want to fly. And we're also going to have a rally to the event. So we're going to have a rally Thursday and Friday with a little party on Friday, more of a drink beer and laugh about the ride. And Saturday we'll have the whole thing. And yes, you have to dress a little fancy for the ball. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So keep that in mind on your schedule. And then we'll get more rides and more things going on, but there's some of that. We're working on a couple of real big things, and we just got to get the details out of that. If you want to join on that, we're doing, got a relay ride, just our normal stuff. We're going to have it come out maybe last minute, but there'll be some cool big stuff. But that last weekend in June is going to be one of our bigger events. And then obviously the Hoka-Hey is going to be a massive event. So far, we have 45 riders signed up to ride for the Monsters. So that's pretty epic in itself. So that's pretty cool. But I'll let you get to the news and I'll chime in on that because all good stuff.
Yeah. We got all kinds of news this week.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'll start with Crazy Ladies. They are on day 272.
272. They're going to dip down pretty quick here. It's coming fast.
It's crazy. They're crazy.
It is. I mean, they're going to get down. It's just going to shrink now. Like when you get into 60 days, 30 days, that's when it really starts to get crazy. So they are crazy ladies. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'll have to start saying how many days are left instead of how many days. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When they get to let's see what they'd be at 100 already. So maybe when they get to 90 or 80 or 75, we should have a countdown. So
we'll do a countdown. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with Brody. Brody had Mile Monsters visit on Saturday. Dooley and Mark stopped by with ice cream on a hot day, and they took him for a ride. So it was pretty nice day for Brody.
That's awesome. I didn't even see any pictures or anything. I was really away from social media all damn weekend, so I missed so much. Feel like I'm out of it.
Yeah. Jackson on Sunday, he got a haircut by mom and dad. He went to the park with his sister, and he went to a birthday party at the neighbor's house. So he had a pretty busy weekend this weekend.
Yeah, sounds like it. Birthday parties, haircuts. We could have cut his hair. We had that going on at the bash.
No,
he's up there. Come on, I grabbed his head and give him a snip. I got scissors right here. I'll be good to go.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't even need a scissors. We could use a knife and just saw it off. Caller could be like, Tunes, how's this? Oh, sorry, got a new name. It's gonna be Scar.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, on to Mr. Gavin. Gavin had a great weekend. Friday, he got bailed out of school early, and they grabbed Iceman, and they headed to Houston to meet up with Twister and Hop for dinner, then off to watch the Savannah Bananas. Gavin had so much fun, I was told.
It looked like a great time.
Yeah, I think he had a good time. Night filled with music and lots of entertainment. Saturday, they headed to
before you pass on that. Did Gavin tell you anything about working the cheerleader at the game?
No, I did not hear about this. He wouldn't tell me about that.
I don't know. I didn't hear it from Gavin, but I heard there was I heard Gavin had a little eyes for a cheerleader down there. So I don't know the whole story. So we'll have to get that story from him and see what it's about. But I don't know. Little Birdie told me that he was eyeballing the cheerleader pretty hard.
Okay, we'll see if Kevin chimes in here and says anything. That's interesting. Yeah, I did not hear that. So,
She
Saturday, what's that?
She just gave me a ball. Yeah, that's so full of it. She's like,
Right.
"Oh, how's my little goat, you little cutie?" Yeah, Gavin, I raised boys. I know how that is. You'd be like, "Oh, I'll take a ball, you hot mama." All right.
Oh, that's hilarious. Poor Gavin. That wasn't my idea, just so you know. They headed to the county fair where Gavin found out his buck won grand champion, which he was pretty ecstatic about.
That was pretty awesome too. Do you see the pictures of that? Because I
Yeah.
knew he had won that on Friday was the judging. So I knew he had won it, and I could hardly keep it to myself, until he got there. And that wall of bucks was pretty impressive. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like there was just one deer there, one or two nice bucks. There was a lot of nice bucks, so that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's and then he spent the day on rides and being in front of the swamp coolers. So must have been pretty hot out.
The swamp coolers, those the things that just blow cold watery air at you?
Water. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. I had to ask Dylan what it was. I didn't know what a swamp cooler was. This Friday he gets to skip school and go to
Shocker.
right. I think it's Santikos for being top fundraiser at his school, which is a movie theater, bowling alley, and arcade. So he gets to spend the day just goofing off.
I wonder if he's going to bring a cheerleader.
Are you, Gavin? Are you bringing the cheer? What's her name? We'll see if
it'll be Candy or Charity or something like that.
Dylan says Destiny.
Destiny, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know. I'm just going out on a limb. I hope so.
Wow.
If her name is Destiny, I'm gonna laugh. Like Gavin's first tattoo is gonna be a heart with a Destiny in
it. Oh Lord. Okay. On the 10th, I'll change the subject, Gavin. On the 10th, he heads to for a density scan or DEXA scan for bone density check in Denton. Then they gear up for the Goats Talk with Jesus tour. And then, of course, he's counting the days until he leaves for the Buffalo game.
Yeah, I bet.
Buffaloes.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. And of course, the big news of Gavin. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Sure.
He was into the game.
Yeah.
Well, you're a couple years away from not noticing there's a baseball game.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
And I don't know if anybody saw Facebook news today, but Gavin's face was plastered all over Times Square.
Yeah, and here I'm all set up for this.
Are you?
I was all set up for this.
I was waiting.
Breaking news. Totally dropped the ball on that. I got to get a better producer on my side of the things. I just totally dropped it. So sorry about that.
I could have made the one over here do it, I suppose. That was awesome.
The Times Square thing was really awesome, and I'm glad that I'm a punctual person because Jessica told me 4:30 was everything going on. Well, I like to be early to things. It drives me crazy if I'm late. If I'm not 15 minutes early, I think I'm late. That's my rule of life. And so I got there in plenty of time, and it was at 4:00. And I had walked past it because I didn't know there's a bunch of neon things, and I didn't know which one was the NASDAQ one. So I'd walked past it. And when I got down and asked some lady where it was, she pointed me back to it. I went back to it. Well, then they had it squared off, and all the people from the pharmaceutical company were going into that. And I started to walk into it, and the security stops me and goes, "Are you with them?" And I said, "Yes, but they're not aware of it yet." And the guy looks at me and he's like, "You can't go in there." I go, "Well, not yet," I said, "but we're going to work on that." And so I set up my camera outside of it and I started talking to them. Then they invited me in, but I was already set up. It's just a little fence. Like I could have stepped over it. It's only 3 feet tall. But
Funny.
it was pretty fun. But everybody was there. I tried to get this video to load on, but it just was a pain in the ass. So I don't know what the hell. But the Catalyst is the name of the pharmaceutical company that Gavin is a spokesman for, and Jessica is working for to help them. But they specialize in drugs to treat rare diseases. So that's a win-win. And they were all super nice. They were a little bit standoffish because I guess I look how I look, and I'm just like in their face kind of. But I knew I didn't have a lot of time because this thing was going to air. And then I'm talking to a guy, and the guy says to me, he didn't realize my phone was set up on a tripod recording the screen, and I'm back away from it a little bit. And so he goes, they're going to rerun it because you just missed Gavin while you were talking to this other dude. And I was like, oh, okay. So it was really cool. They ran the whole thing once, and then they did the whole screen and ran it again because they thought I didn't see it, and they didn't realize my phone was recording the whole thing. But it was pretty cool. They said the company, I just put a 15-second clip, but it was like a 2-minute video, I think. And they just showed them, ringing the bell at the NASDAQ, and they had named all the people, and their title and all that good stuff. But then they had Gavin on there, and the building it's on has windows. So if you look at it, that's what the spots are in the video that kind of look open. They're windows of the building. Oh. And so Gavin's picture showed up pretty good, like in between the windows, where some people that were there in that group, like when their picture came up, like there was one that was a couple, and the lady's face was right on the window. So you couldn't see your face at all. It was gone. It was all you see is the window. But it was pretty cool. But I was glad I went there, and it was super awesome to see Gavin on Times Square on the big neon lights like that. And not that long ago at our first Monster Day, he was hiding behind my motorcycle because he was so bashful about doing it. So to see him now, he's got his face in Times Square like a model, like all the models that have their little things in Times Square. So it's pretty awesome. So I think anybody's got one of his paintings with his signature on it, you better hold on to that.
Better hang on.
Yep, they're gonna be worth something. But anyhow, that was pretty cool. So I was glad I got down there. So Jessica, thanks for the tip that was going on, and the people were all really cool at Catalyst. They were really they're really outgoing and nice. Once they realized that I was a motorcycle guy that rode for Gavin, that then they were right up my alley. So it was kind of fun. But I get that a lot, so I'm kind of used to it. People got it. Take people a minute to warm up to me. If I just walk up to people, they're usually like, no, we don't talk. We don't talk to strangers. We don't want anything from you. And please don't hurt me.
Please go away.
Yeah. And that's so funny. You see this comment, because whenever I tell somebody my name, nobody's brain hears Riot. Like if I tell somebody Riot, they don't hear it. What their brain hears, and maybe my accent or whatever, is Ryan. So I don't know, for years and years and years, people have called me Ryan when they don't realize that I'm saying Riot. And sometimes I'll just show them my hand and be like, no, it's Riot. And they're like, oh. But there was a couple of them there, and things were happening so fast that I didn't want to take the time to correct them. So I just went with it. I told Jessica, I go, if anybody tells you they ran into Ryan, you'll know who they're talking about. So that was pretty good. But yeah, it was great. It was a great day. It was another fun thing that I got to do because of our heroes. So that was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was a very proud moment to see Gavin's face pop up on that thing. It was just, I felt like a proud dad moment. Like, it's my boy. Taking a video and telling people, that one right there in the middle, and then I'm like, pause it right there so I can get a picture. You're like joking around, but I don't know if they paused it or not, but it stopped on Gavin's picture for a long time. If you watch the video, everybody else is like a second per picture. And then it got to Gavin's and it stayed there. And that was right after. I said, can you just pause that there so I can get a picture? And it was kind of funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good.
Other breaking news.
Oh, hold on. More breaking news. Can you hear me? Can you hear me say that?
Yeah, I can hear you say it. Sometimes
Okay,
you.
good.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
heard
when
you.
we put things up there, so we don't need any music. It'd be like,
You don't need the music.
this just in, more breaking news.
That was
That was,
perfect.
yeah, there you go. All right.
Okay. Alfie, we tried to have him on tonight, but it's 1:00 in the morning there, and he does have school tomorrow. He is back in school. But after 10 months of fighting and campaigning on radios and TV and everything, they finally got approved for their drug.
That's awesome. That is such a weight off of their shoulders, and that fight,
Yeah.
which is total, I'll still say total bullshit. You have to fight like
It,
that
it
for
was.
that. But I'm super glad they did. And it's really awesome that all their hard work pays off. Like all that hard work and all of that nonsense, Elfie's going to get the drug that could help him immensely. So now I'm just praying that it does, and I felt so bad when Drew fought like crazy to get approved for a drug for his insurance. And then he fights that for 6 months and he finally gets on it, and the damn thing had made, he had a reaction to it. So
Yeah.
now I'm just praying that this drug works for Elfie, and it's awesome. So congratulations, Colleen, because she really did hit it out of the park. That is a mama bear that doesn't know, like, she not only doesn't quit, but she did it in the right way. Media, politicians, and keep asking the question. Never take no for an answer and keep moving forward the right way. And she got her answers. Like, my way is ask really nice 5 or 6 times and then hold somebody over the bridge by their ankles until you get it, So, and it doesn't work. That's the way of the 70s and 80s, but that shit don't fly in today's world. So, I'm just so happy that Elfie got that, and I felt so bad for him that he couldn't get that. So,
and all the other boys over there too,
yeah, and it hurts you when inside, when you care for these kids like this, and then they can't have something that's just not right. It's one thing if they haven't invented it yet or whatever. You dream about something, but they have something and they wouldn't give it to them, and that's just not right. It didn't matter about the the why or whatever. They wouldn't give it to him. So the ultimate mama bear came through, and I'm really happy. So congratulations. And subtitles on your video will be awesome when you do that. Thank God he wasn't drinking. He was only excited because I could get every third word out of it. But
I caught on to what he was saying, I think.
I think that's so funny. I can't understand English. I can't understand English in Ireland. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
So that was great news too. In other news with him, he got a football game, which I'm sure is a soccer game, for his PlayStation for his birthday. So he's been playing that quite a bit, and he's back in school. So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to be in school. I don't know. Hopefully he stays there for a while.
Jamie says play it in slow motion. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, that's too funny. But that's really good, man. I'm glad he got that.
We had some awesome news tonight. So yeah. That's all I got.
That's all you got? Well, that was a great job. Great job.
Great news.
With your breaking news, and there was some good news there. The boys got a lot going on. Let's see. There's a couple things coming up. Pat Cornell's party is in October on the 11th. So if anybody's interested in going down to that, let me know if you haven't got tickets yet. But you go on the event page, look at the old man's thing, pull up events, it'll pop up. But they got like a thing, I think it's $30 a ticket, something like that. But if you didn't get a ticket and you need one, let me know. I can pull some strings, make it good to go, because it's going to be fun. It's just a picnic. It's going to be they're having a pig roast at someone's house. So I think it's going to be a good time. It's not far from my parents' house, so I'm going to go down and stay at my parents, and then try to get my mom and dad to go to the pig roast as well. So I think my dad's going to go, but I don't think mom's going. She's caring for. She lives in an old farts home development, and she's like the young one that lives there at, I don't know how old my mom is, like 70 something. And she's like the young one that lives there. So she's helping the neighbor who's 99 and not long for this world. So she's over there like playing nursemaid to that dude. So I kind of laughed, but she's busy. So she likes that kind of thing. She's good at it. So that's that. But we got that on the 10th. And then Gavin's Ride, the Talking to Jesus tour. That is the 17th. That weekend starts on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days, 4 directions. That's subject to change with the weather, but we kind of have an idea. We're going to go out, look at churches, talk to Jesus, and we're going to come back every day to the Best Western in Schertz, Texas. So if you want to join us, the Best Western, try to get a poolside room. The reason I'm trying to get everybody to get a poolside room is the more people we have in those poolside rooms, the less likely we'll have to get complaints while we're hanging out at the pool at night. So that's why I'm trying to get everybody to get as many poolside rooms as you can, poolside, pool view, whatever it takes. So if you're coming, try to get those rooms. And any of the nights, we'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, heading home on Tuesday early in the morning. So if you want to join us, this is open to everybody, anybody and everybody. You show up in the morning or at night, spend the night there, and you'll be good to go. But if you want to join us, we're going to leave in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, something like that. The first day we might have some media there, so it might be a little bit later, but that's all subject to change. It's really going to be what Gavin feels. So if Gavin's wanting to get up early, we'll know the night before and be like, yeah, we're going to bed early. Let's get up and let's get rolling. It's going to be hot. It's going to be cold. It's going to be whatever. Let's roll at 7 or 8, whatever. But that's what we're going to do. And we're not doing crazy miles. This is something anybody and everybody can join in on and follow along and take part in something that's really cool. Showing Gavin some really cool, some really, guys, trying to avoid that, some really cool churches, and a chance to learn a little bit about God and some cool stuff. So we're going to be doing all that and having fun while we do it. So that's what I'm talking about. And it's not very good. My Ravens got beat by the Chiefs. First they got beat by the Bills. I had to listen to Gavin. Now they get beat by the Chiefs and listen to Turbo. So thank God I'm cheering for the Chiefs this year. So I got a little bit of savior, but it's all good. But I look forward to everybody coming down for Gavin's Ride. It's going to be a great time. So
that sounds fun.
Yeah. You got anything else for me?
Well, I know they mentioned that they thought I forgot Jackson, but I did talk about Jackson with his haircut and everything. Mm-hmm. I did forget Turbo, but I didn't have much news on Turbo, just that he was all healthy and good, and that the Chiefs whooped the Ravens. So I was going to say raisins, yeah. The Ravens. So sorry, guys, if you didn't catch that. So
yeah, that's awesome.
I don't want to miss anybody.
Yeah, I don't know. You can miss that news. I don't know who let that fly by, but
I don't know either. But
we'll take it. It's all right. But awesome. I don't know. It's all good. Stay tuned when we're down in Texas. We're gonna have some fun stuff going on down there. With some hot news. We'll have some good breaking news down there too. So got a lot of fun stuff. A lot of fun things going on. And that's gonna kind of wrap it up after Gavin's Ride. There's not a whole lot after that, until the end of the year. So that'll be nice. I got a crazy busy schedule, so I'm looking forward to some downtime. January, I'm not doing a thing. So if anybody has any crazy ideas for January, count me out. I am not in at all. I did that last year, January and February. I didn't go anywhere. I tried not to go anywhere. I guess the end of February I ended up going, but I'm going to do the same thing again. It really helps me like regroup and get settled back in for another busy year. And it really helps me stay grounded with the wife and some home time. So some people don't like hanging out with their wife. She is truly my best friend, and I love hanging out with her. So, I need that time to regroup. So, we're going to have a monster day. I got to talk with Gavin's school. That will be the only reason I leave home, January or February. So keep that in mind. If you're thinking of doing anything or want a monster involved, it won't be me January, February, but Hop is more than willing to ride in the cold to anything you have going on. Twister's good. If you're way up north, I got all kinds of people named Misty and Dylan that can go. So, so it's all kinds of fun. But I just want to throw that out there. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to finish my book this winter. That is my goal. I may go to Minnesota to our cabin in the woods in the middle of winter, because that is as remote as you can get. And I might just go there and lock myself in the cabin for a week or two and just write and have a good time. So that's it. So Turbo.
That sounds like a movie. Wasn't that Misery where they wrote the book in the... Did you see that movie?
Yeah, I did, but I'm not bringing a crazy lady that's going to strap me in the bed and hobble my ankles like that. Oh, that one scene is what I remember more than anything.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, let me fold your ankles over, and it'll keep you from running away, so you can write the ending to the book how I want it." So if you show up,
thing that popped into my head.
Well, if you show up at my cabin and you show up at the cabin with a sledgehammer and want to know how I'm going to end the book, I'm not opening the door. So, all right. Well, Dylan, we all good? Another great job with your thumb. Some really, really thumbtastic what you do. So it's perfect.
Gavin needs 20 more minutes.
You can burn up 20 minutes telling your mom about the cheerleader, so you'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I got. Have a good night.
Yeah. Have a good week, everyone.
All right. Peace.
Bye.